so much for joining us this afternoon. This is Lunchtime News, where we shall be bringing you comprehensive reports of what has been going on in the country as well across borders. My name is Jackie Wimbiro. Sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. Now, to kick us off this afternoon, President William Ruto says Kenya is targeting India, among other Asian giants, to explore investment opportunities in the manufacturing sector and harness renewable energy resources to solidify the country's position as Africa's leading green industrial hub. The head of state further says India's leadership in the pharmaceutical manufacturing sector will also help the country improve access to affordable medical supplies and contribute to the realization of universal health care. Ruto's visit to the Asian country ended on Tuesday after holding bilateral talks with his host, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Earlier, the two countries signed 5 MOUs on health, information communication technology, avocados, energy and the SME sector.
The World Economic Forum has rated Kenya human capital as the best in the world. So if you are looking for people to work in your business or enterprise or investment, and you need engineers or bankers or investment people or whatever you need, you will find them in Kenya.
I would like to emphasize on a couple of important sectors where India has made the most advance and the people of Kenya can benefit from it. On the top of the list are healthcare and pharmaceuticals.
We have a stable economy, we have political and microeconomic stability, we are globally competitive, we have access to many raw materials.
The recent arrest of Controller of Budget, Margaret Nyakango, has this morning elicited mixed reaction in National Assembly leadership. Leader of Minority Opio Wandai said that some members had the view that Nyakango had been arrested due to her strong stand against misuse of public funds, sentiments that were rebuked by the Minority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah. On Tuesday, Nyakango was charged at a Mombasa court with multiple counts of fraud, false pretense and operating a SACCO without a license. While appearing before Mombasa Low Court Chief Magistrate Alex Ithukur, Nyakango denied all charges and was released on a 2 million shillings bond with a similar surety or an alternative cash bail of 500,000 shillings.
But let me say this. I think it is the first time since the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution that a holder of an independent office has been charged in the court of law. If I'm not wrong, I may be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. It's the first time since 2010.
What I do not agree with the Leader of Minority with is that holders of independent offices, there is absolutely nothing in the Constitution that says a holder of an independent office cannot be charged or is above the law.
We don't want to go into the reasons why the Controller of Budget was arrested. Some of us hold a strong view that she was being, of course, hounded out of office. She was being pursued for her strong stance against misuse of public funds.
Because I remember Margaret Nyakango said that there is budgeted corruption, and I can give the example of my own office, where I am the only public officer. I know how much I earn, but what was budgeted for my pay was almost 2 times. And Honorable Speaker, the National Treasury did explain that part of what was budgeted for in the Office of the Controller of Budget included other entitlements to that office like car grants, mortgage, which had not been taken.
The fact that Margaret has been taken to court, and from what I also saw, is not related to her performance as a control of budget. That is in public domain. So let's leave the matter there so that we don't prejudice her case. We are making it difficult for her lawyers and other lawyers who may turn up in court with Hansard from this house and complicate her defense and push her in the deeper end.
In other news, cross-border female genital mutilation has continued to pose a challenge to authorities seeking to end the vice in Kuria, Migori County. Despite efforts to combat the vice, some girls are still sneaking to neighboring Tanzania to undergo the cut. The outlawed act has seen girls drop out of school, while others are married off at an early age, affecting the quality of their life.
The government, non-governmental organizations and human rights activists have teamed up in Kuria to try and end the old practice of female genital mutilation. The collaboration entails sensitization campaigns with the hope of achieving a wholesome cultural shift.
There is need for constructive conversations between the community and also just giving an opportunity for the youth, more so for the girls, so that they can also make their own decisions.
We have a provision in our reporting tools where we capture the young women who come to our maternities to deliver, how many of them have undergone the cut. Though this one cuts across to even the very old women. We've seen that at least more than 60% of the women folk around have undergone the cut.
Robbie Gatti, not her real name, is one of the victims of female genital mutilation.
Unakuta wakati mwingine watoto waka hapendi. Lakini sasa ikifika pale kwa wazazi, kuna ile wanalazimisha, wanasema kwamba ni lazima kwa sababu ni culture ya nini. Nilichukuliwa kutoka nyumbani. Nikapelekwa kwenye wasichana wanatahiriwa. Kuna place fulani wasichana waka wanapelekwa kutahiriwa. Sasa wakati walinichukua walinipeleka pale. Sasa katika ile harakati ya kukataa, sasa kuna ile sasa wanakulazimishia kwa sababu umeshafika huko.
Despite the scars caused by the vice, cross-border female genital mutilation is being used to evade authorities.
Tukakutana na viongozi wa kule Tanzania, viongozi wenzetu, tukaweka mikakati kwamba wakati wa Disemba wale wanakuwa chonjo na sisi tunakuwa chonjo, kwa sababu unajua Anti-FGM Act iko wazi kwamba kama mtu anayachukua mtu apeleke pale Article 21, hiyo ni sheria kwamba mtu atafungwa na hicho kipengele.
Most of the times we take cases to courts and the judges raise issue, the prosecutor raise issue of what is the evidence. And apparently most of the evidence is just the cutter, and the cutter refuses that. She was just carrying a blade like any other person.
Meanwhile, women across Mandera County have joined forces in the war against gender-based violence. The campaign seeks to encourage a mindset change while at the same time pursuing justice for affected women and girls.
Na sana tukitaka kuchukua justice kwa watu wetu, tunapata kwamba masuala ya masla system inazuia watu ama inazuia wale victims ama survivors wa vitendo za hizi unyama kupata justice.
Be a voice of survivors and for association of movement that fight for women's rights. We can all do something to empower survivors and prevent and reduce gender-based violence.
Jaribu tuzuie hii vita. Tupigana na hii vita juu ya wasichana. Hiyo mkono red imesema ni nini? Stop. Hakuna excuse.
Statistics indicate that over 2,000 women and girls in the county have been victims of gender-based violence and defilement in the past 3 years. These as non-governmental organizations and religious leaders in Kiambu County have called for improved laws and services to end violence against women. Abundance Chapel Bishop Jason Kabera said many gender-based violence conflicts are steered by use of alcohol and drugs.
Economic issues also have been very prevalent, so that a lot of the conflict has been as a result of economic issues, money issues, And in some cases, we also have had cultural issues.
The percentage of people who have been rescued and those who have suffered from GBV is quite high because of the environment, number one. Number two, because of lack of many opportunities.
Na ni lazima waambiwe wakome, wawache sheria ichukue mkondo yake kwa sababu tuko na sheria na nchi yetu inaendelezwa kisheria.
Ile kitu kwanza inafanya waume wengi wafanye vitendo mbaya na waweze kudhulumu watu wengine ni kwa sababu wenyewe hawajaongea. Una shida za pesa, ongea, pata rafiki, hata kama ni mwanaume mwenzako ama mtu yeyote, muambie shida zako.
Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
Information, Communication and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo has directed for the integration of Kenya Broadcasting Corporation veterans in the upcoming 2023 Kenya Yearbook publication. Speaking during a breakfast meeting with a veteran journalist, Owalo said that the group deserves recognition, adding that they have made a great impact in shaping not only the media industry but also the society.
Of the retired veterans, Owalo making a directive for documentation of the veterans in the 2023 Yearbook Editorial Board. The book's mandate is to enhance government communications and produce publications highlighting developments in all sectors.
Ought to record our history in the context of our contribution to nation building.
That the Kenya Yearbook will embark on working on the history, documenting the history of broadcasting and journalism in this country, and deeply embedded in that history will be the contribution that you icons have played in the history of our journalism.
He also urged the veterans to offer mentorship programs to the upcoming journalists so as to help them navigate in the media space.
Ninyi ambao mmestaafu mna jukumu la kujenga talanta mpya zinazotokea.
Mentorship and guidance are invaluable as we navigate the complexities of modern media landscape.
And I want them to keep up because the work is more than it was nowadays.
Owalo also assured the icons of being acknowledged in the upcoming Jamhuri celebrations.
How we can better the situation for some of us. Not all of us have become successful.
Inga ambayo tunaweza kufanya ili kuwatambua watangazaji wetu na kuwafanya maisha yao ya uzeeni yawe bora kuliko yalivyo sasa.
I think even as we move towards next week's celebrations, I'm going to recommend a critical mass of you to be considered for ours.
Some of the veterans applauded the government for turning its attention to the group.
Miaka yetu sasa ni kuondoka, tunaondoka tu. Sikupenda most of the people gathered here are above 70 na unajua 70 ndio tulipewa, hii ingine ni bonus. Sasa kama kuna kitu unafanya, fanya sasa.
Sasa hayo tumekuja tukasikia hapa. Kwa hivyo sasa tuangojea tuangalie mambo yatakuwa au hayawi.
The veterans will be holding annual meetings to evaluate media progress and help in shaping policies in the industry. Kasi Chanamasha, Lunchtime News.
Kiambu County Assembly members have unanimously passed a motion to compel the Kiambu County government to close caves and clear bushes in Witaithia ward where hyenas that have been terrorizing locals hide. Close to 20 people have lost their lives from the hyenas attacks, with more having nursing serious injuries. Now the MCAs say they have taken the move after Kenya Wildlife Service turned a blind eye to the menace. The MCAs have called on the county government to move with speed and close up the caves and uproot the bushes where the hyenas hide to avoid further loss of life.
Wametoka kwa pahali wanafaa kukua, wanakuja kwa pahali wananchi wanaishi. Na tungetaka kitengo cha KWS kama wameshindwa na kazi yao, hao ndio wako na jukumu ya kuchunga hao wanyama, wakae kwa msitu na raia wakae pahali wanakaa. Tujue kama wameshindwa na wajue lazima walipe hao wamama, hao watu wote wa Witavia, wa Juja wamepata hasara kwa hao wanyama, kwa sababu kuna watu wanakuja kulipa pesa ili waone hao wanyama. So sasa ile wanyama wanakuja kuharibu ama kuua watu. We demand for compensation for those people.
Mambo ambayo tumezungumzia kati yake ni kuhakikisha kwamba maneno ambayo yalizungumziwa na gavana siku ya Jumapili kwamba ataleta tinga za kuhakikisha zimeziba mashimo na kware ambazo zimemalizika ataleta, na zaidi ya hapo tujaribu kutafuta vijana wetu tuwapatie kazi ya kufyeka, kutoa vichaka, maana mahali pale ndipo fisi wanapatumia kukaa. Si kama
Kenyan universities have been challenged to roll out programs on financial literacy after the government noticed a weak point in financial proficiency among Kenyans after it rolled out the Hustler Fund program. Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui said the government-sponsored Hustler program exposed some underbellies among Kenyans working in the informal sector. Chelugui further said the government will involve the cooperative university in rolling out coffee value chain programs, and financial inclusion is a topic to ensure the sectors have improved. He spoke during the graduation of 1,565 students.
A cooperative university. On coffee value chain, we are looking at partnering with the university in developing the entire value chain from production to the market. So we are also going to work on other value chains and possibly deepen further the dairy sector, artisanal mining and fishing. All these government priority value chains are important.
Still on matters education, grassroots journalists drawn from various media companies in Kajiado County have benefited from a free training in agro-ecology farming in a bid to empower them with knowledge that will be critical in educating farmers through the media. Agro-ecology is a discipline that seeks to work with local communities, food producers and other actors to prevent land degradation and restore degraded areas. The training, organized by Consumer Grassroots Association, an non-governmental organization, will also see the journalists impart knowledge to farmers on climate change effects, as well as enhancing food security in the vast arid and semi-arid county.
We are encouraging citizens to go back to the old ways of doing things that is not affecting environment, and that way we will regenerate the soils, we will regenerate the way we are living. We will make sure that there's a turnaround in issues of environmental protection.
We daily interact with our communities, and this information that we've received here greatly impacts them at a personal level.
Tunapopata kuelimishwa ama kufahamu mengi kuhusu jinsi ya kutekeleza majukumu yetu, tutaweza kusaidia watu wengi na tunaweza tukabadilisha maisha.
Narok Deputy County Commissioner Felix Kisalu now wants local administration to invoke punitive measures to ensure young girls are not married off at their tender age but allowed to pursue their education to fruition. Kisalu says among the measures to be instituted include confiscation of livestock from parents who have refused to take their girls to school and proceeds of such livestock paid as their school fees.
Narok Deputy County Commissioner Felix Kisalu says action has already been taken on over 30 parents accused of denying their girls a chance to proceed with their education. The girls, some who are now housed at the Light of Life organization, have been rescued from retrogressive cultural practices such as female genital mutilation and early marriages and given a chance at education.
To storm in that home and capture cows, sheep, chicken and goats and sell and M-Pesa the principal mahali wewe unasoma. But under the Children Act, hiyo ng'ombe, that child is also a shareholder. Si ni kweli? So you cannot accuse me for stealing from the child to educate the child.
The Deputy County Commissioner directing local administration to step up the fight and ensure young girls are not robbed of their opportunity to continue with education.
Go and whisper. Mwambie bwana chief, iko shida kwa boma fulani. Msichana fulani ananyanyaswa. Msichana fulani iko kijana anasumbua yeye. Mtu ya bodaboda fulani anasumbua wasichana area hii. Mzee fulani ameoza mtoto yake na tulikuwa tunasoma na yeye. Don't fear. Mtoto fulani amefukuzwa shule na wazazi wake wamemweka nyumbani, anaozea nyumbani. Hebu muingilie kama serikali. Don't fear. Let it be the government be aware.
For these girls who've gone ahead to score commendable marks in their KCPE examinations, such organizations go a long way in giving them hope at a better future for themselves.
I have not found any difficulties during my studies time. In the future, I want to become a pilot.
I want to go to Alliance Girls, and I like to be a surgeon when I finish my studies, and I hope for the best in future.
Some of the cases, when you listen to them, it really brings a lot of sympathy. But we thank God that they are able to go to secondary school, from primary school to secondary school to even university, and some of them are even working.
Yusuf Far reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now we cross over to Kirinyaga County, where residents of Gatwe village in Mutira Ward, Kirinyaga Central, took to the streets to protest the downgrading of Gatwe Health Center to a dispensary. More of these in the County News Roundup.
The residents said they are currently lacking most of the essential services offered by the health center. They now want the county government to consider reverting the health facility to its initial status.
So ombi letu kwa serikali ni hili. Hatutaki kujua ni county government ama ni national government. Ile mwananchi anataka tu ni apewe ile services ama huduma karibu na yeye.
In Kericho County, junior secondary school teachers led by the Kericho Kupet officials today held demonstrations in Kericho town to demand the TSC employs them on permanent and pensionable terms.
It's not like we are threatening the Teachers Service Commission, but we want to say loud and clear. We are saying it in one voice and loud and clear that if the commission is not going to confirm the 523 teachers in Kericho County, then this is just a warm-up. We are coming back. January we will be here.
Elsewhere, the Kikuyu Council of Elders is now calling for action on anyone found torturing newly circumcised boys as part of initiation rites. This comes after an incident where a 15-year-old boy was tortured and left for dead in Mahimahiu, Naivasha by a group of youth.
Lakini kwanza nirudishie polisi wa hapa sana sana huko Mahimahiu, OCS, kwa vile walichukua hatua ya haraka ya kukamata hii wahalifu. Na moja alitolewa mpaka huko Kasarani, Nairobi. Na mimi nikafuata hiyo maneno mpaka hiyo watu yote wakashikwa na wakawekwa ndani.
Elsewhere, Governor Simba Arati has claimed that the current hostility against him and his administration is due to a vicious fight he has launched to curb graft, promising to intensify efforts to rid the county of corrupt characters.
Mali ya umma, mali ya Mungu lazima yalindwe. Nimekuja hiyo hospitali yetu KTRH sasa imeamuka, iko hai. Nilipokuja nilipata kwamba wanakusanya milioni 47 peke yake kwa miezi 3. Nikakanyaga pipe hiyo moja, nikatoa yule alikuwa anasimamia, nikaweka mwingine. Sasa hizi vile tunaongea wanaokota shilingi milioni 180.
And in Narok, persons with disability through the chairperson Paul Olesapea are calling on the government to prioritize the inclusivity in various spheres of the economy and leadership.
Tunataka soko zile zote, space zote zinatengenezwa hapa Narok. Sisi pia tupatiwa nafasi ya kujiendelesha ili tusiwe waombaji, tuwe kama wale watu wengine ambayo pia nao wanataka pia ajira ya kujisaidia kwa maisha yao. Ile act ya Article 54 iangaziwe, Article 181 iangaziwe na 27. Tunasema kwamba disability is not an ability.
Similarly, in Kilifi County, the government has initiated strategies that will ensure all persons with disabilities are included and empowered in all spheres of life.
Hivyo majengo pia yaangalie miundo misingi ya siku hizi. Kwa mfano kuwe na ile ramp kama tunaenda masala ya haja ndogo, haja kubwa, kuwe na choo ambacho pia watu kama wale wanaweza kukitumia. Tukiwa katika maeneo ya kama huduma center, hospitali hizi zetu kubwa za rufaa, ama kwa polisi, kuwe na wale watu ambao wana ile uzoefu wa kuweza kuinterpret sign language.
Now on health matters, a section of health unions in Busia County has applauded changes made by the county government in the health department. The Union of Nurses, led by Secretary General James Emosogod and Chairman David Bosolo, say that the health sector in the county has faced challenges due to poor management and believe that the changes will bring hope in Busia County. Dr. Susan Oute, who was the chief officer, has been transferred to the Sports and Culture Department as Dr. Wilberforce Lusamba takes over as the new chief officer.
The coming of Dr. Lusamba and the other chief officer, they'll bring a positive impact on service delivery.
Sisi kama wauguzi tunataka kusema kwamba tuna support changes zenye alifanya, maanake kulikuwa na utepetevu katika department ya health.
The government, together with development partners, has launched an ambitious blue economy project that is set to benefit women fisherfolks in the counties of Kilifi and Kwale. Speaking after setting up a climate-smart integrated multi-trophic aquaculture of seaweeds and fish projects in Kwale, Linus Kosambo, a research scientist at the Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute, said that the project will create an opportunity for the women and youth who are not capable in investing on deep-sea fishing. The project is said to be rolled out across the country if it succeeds in the two counties where it is being piloted.
Incorporates elements of circular economy, but also it incorporates the aspects of resource recycling so that there is no contamination of the environment. So essentially it is a sustainable, ecologically friendly, and possibly a better economic investment, in the sense that it also avoids the risk of total loss as a result of climate change. So a farmer may not lose everything. If the seaweed is not doing so well, he has the option of the fish. And at the same time, in the aquaculture system, normally we also have high-value species that come in there that can be co-cultured with the fish. When they incorporate this in the IMTS system, then there are higher possibilities of better economic return and also security against total loss as a result of climate change.
Cage is unique because we are able to produce seaweed within the same system, and at the same time also able to grow fish and other organisms within the same system.
On that note, we take a short break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
Kote nchini matumaini, tujitahidi, tujivunie, tuendelee.
NCBA. Go for it.
The stage is set for a showcase of young talents as Kenya hosts the Sekafa Under-18 Championship from the 25th of November to 8th of December in Kisumu and Kakamega. Kenya, Sudan, Rwanda, Somalia, Zanzibar, South Sudan and Uganda are battling for the title in the 2-week tournament. The group phase matches are scheduled 25th of November to 1st of December. Then the semi-finals will be played on 5th of December and the final on 8th of December, all in Kisumu. Catch the matches live on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
From the dawn of independence to the present day, Kenya has journeyed with strength and determination. We celebrate Kenya at 60. As we mark this incredible milestone, KBC and Jamboree present an unforgettable celebration of culture, music, and awareness. Immerse yourself in a musical journey featuring global sensations like the Mighty Itals and Everton Blender, all the way from Kingston, Jamaica, alongside our incredible homegrown artists. But it's not just about the music. Join us for a day of cancer awareness and a fun-filled family day, including horse riding, bouncing castles for the kids, and a special tree planting exercise. Save the dates as we tour a county near you. Ticket information is available on our social media handles at Jamboree Festival KE. Join the celebration, feel the rhythm, and make memories that will last a lifetime. Happy birthday, Kenya.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. National Assembly lawmakers are set to receive the second tranche of the National Government Constituency Development Fund monies by 20th of this month. Speaking of the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, on Wednesday allayed members' fears on the delay, saying National Treasury has committed to disburse not less than 9 billion shillings to various constituency accounts to cater for the bursary needs. Wetangula said the delay has been occasioned by the debt crisis, especially the Eurobond that National Treasury has committed to pay this month. On Tuesday, business was adjourned prematurely after members stormed out of the House following the NGCDF monies delay.
For the 20th of this month, they are going to release to the CDF management at least not less than 9 billion, which will then be disbursed to your constituencies, if not for anything else, at least to deal with the sticky issues of bursaries when schools open. I believe that we don't leave behind our women folk. So the NGAF fund majority leader, you must also follow up that as they disburse CDF, they do so for the women representatives as well. So I believe, honorable members, that this should allay your anxiety, and if there's any issue, you as truly here is there for taking care of your welfare.
Now moving on, people with disabilities in Yatta constituency of Machakos County had a reason to smile after the local UDA office donated wheelchairs. The UDA office, led by Anastasia Mwendo, called on the local leaders to work with the government for the benefit of the community. The beneficiaries lauded the gesture, saying it could not have come at a better time.
Wazazi wale ambao mmeweka watoto nyumbani kwa sababu ati mtoto ni mlemavu, sio wewe uliamua kuzaa mtoto akiwa hivyo. Ningewaomba kwa heshima Hata wakati nilikuwa natafuta wale watu ambao wako disabled, nimepata shida sana kwa sababu watu wengine hawataki kujitokelezea. Mimi naomba wazazi tutoe hao watoto. You never know. Huyu mtoto anaweza kuwa ni disabled lakini kuna kitu kingine anaweza kufanya. Tuwatoe hapa nje wakuje ndio waweze pia kusaidika.
I want to thank the president so much. Na tunamwambia ya kwamba sisi tumemshikilia mashinani na hii miradi yenye ameanza kuleta alete. Isikuwe tu ni hii ya Mheshimiwa Anastasia lakini azidi kuleta usaidizi huku.
Mimi niko na furaha sana kwa ajili tumepatiwa kitu ya kutembea.
Now I cross over to Samburu County, where more than 500 youth from Amaral have benefited from sensitization program courtesy of a local non-governmental organization, the Indigenous Wellbeing Initiative for All. The youth were sensitized on issues such as teenage pregnancies, drug abuse and HIV/AIDS awareness. Gabriela Correle, who is the director of the organization, says that the campaign targets young people aged between 15 and 35 years who are at risk of sexually transmitted infections and the use of drugs.
Samburu County iko 50% ya teenage pregnancy, na leo tumekuja hapa kuongea na vijana wetu kutoka Samburu County. Tunapanga mpango ya kuenda Samburu East Constituency, tutakuwa Samburu North Constituency kuhakikisha vijana wetu wote wamehamasishwa.
Ingekuwa bora kama wao mwenyewe ingekuwa na adabu, ungeweza kuzuia hayo mapema.
Watoto wajichunge na pia wasasi watekeleze jukumu lao kuhakikisha kwamba watoto wasijihusishe na mambo ya uambukizaji wa HIV/AIDS.
Members of KBC County Assembly have passed a supplementary budget in line with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission salary increment for staff and levies introduced by the national government recently. The tabled budget by the Budget and Appropriation Committee Chairman Peter Otachi said it will cater for housing levy, increased salaries and the National Social and Security Fund. The tabled budget saw a 250 million shilling allocation for salaries and taxes, even as the county government's 2023-2024 budget was also reduced from 13.8 to 13.2 billion shillings. 50 million shillings had also been put in the supplementary budget for the county's youth upgrade program, Kazim Tani.
Was the county assembly. The county assembly was affected by 70 million, 50 million which was for the chambers and 20 million which was for the construction of offices. And also from the members of the county assembly, we affected what we call the ward-based budget by a deduction from that 9 million to 27 million per ward, so that at least we can also fund these activities.
We need now to walk the talk. We have talked a lot since the start of the budget. And what we want to see is to actualize the budget.
Business. 3 Kenyan scientists, Cheryl Kerema, Mwende Mbilo and Faith Njeru, are among the 30 most brilliant African women scientists fated for their life-changing innovations. The scientists received the Women in Science Young Talents Sub-Saharan Africa by the L'Oreal Foundation and UNESCO.
The 14th edition of the L'Oreal UNESCO for Women in Science Young Talent Sub-Saharan Africa Awards attracted 632 applicants from across 17 countries. The 3 Kenyan female artists are among 25 PhD candidates and 5 postdoctoral researchers rewarded at the annual ceremony hosted this year in Kasane, Botswana.
Africa waits for more than 17% of the worldwide population, but still only 2.5% of the researchers. So empowering women science in sub-Saharan Africa is a collective responsibility.
Cheryl Karema, a doctoral student in public and environmental health at KBC Institute of Clinical Research, University of Nairobi, was feted for her original discovery of how sugar regulation impacts tuberculosis. Mwende Mbilo, also a doctoral student at the Condensed Matter Physics, also at the University of Nairobi, was recognized for her innovation to improve the efficiency of organic solar cells to bring more sustainable and reliable clean energy solutions, while the third awardee, Faith Njero, is a doctoral student in food security and agribusiness at the Sokoine University of Tanzania, and is developing novel diagnostics to conserve Kenya's maize crops. In East Africa, young women from Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda and Ethiopia were also among the most brilliant African scientists recognized. Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
The government is set to review policies governing e-commerce in Kenya to ensure consumers are better protected. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua says the growth of e-commerce has brought more risk to consumers, necessitating updating of the law.
Product liability cases have dogged e-commerce firms in recent years as Kenya continues to experience a boom in the sector fueled by third-party vendors. However, e-commerce firms have always held that they are not legally responsible for defective products sold by third-party merchants on their sites, thereby exposing consumers to unlimited risks.
With the violation of consumers evolving with technology, national and transnational legal professions will be less effective and possibly obsolete if reviews are not updated.
Gachagua noted that despite strides in consumer protection through various agencies, there is a need for more collaboration, including regionally, if consumers are to be better safeguarded against illicit trade.
Countries like Kenya may boast of strong legal frameworks on protection of consumers, but the blossoming of illicit trade points to possible limited awareness among the public. Raising awareness on such threats is critical to consumer protection.
Together, let's work towards supporting consumers to build health and resilience and to meet the challenges that lie ahead. Your active participation is crucial in realizing this mission.
We should be a generation that will propose and devise solutions for this generation and for so many other generations to come.
It's actually the first time that this conference is actually being held in Kenya. And as a matter of fact, not only in Kenya, but in Africa.
The Competition Authority of Kenya says it is actively championing best practices in consumer protection.
We are actually working with the various sister organizations, like you mentioned, be it the neighboring countries and so forth, to ensure that we have a standardized approach to the laws of, in regards to consumer protection. So that is actually a work that's ongoing, and hopefully in the not too distant future, that will be standardized across the region.
They were speaking at the 3-day Consumer International Global Congress in Nairobi, hosted by the Competition Authority of Kenya. Alana Oko, Lunchtime News.
Agriculture value actors have been trained on EAC export procedures that aim to enhance the competitiveness of the agri-food industry and mitigate the impact of the global crisis on food security in the region. The training, which is a partnership between Kenya Private Sector Alliance and East Africa Business Council, emphasized on product quality, safety standards and efficient export operations.
Our aim is to empower each participant with knowledge and skills needed to navigate the complexities of cross-border trade successfully.
So it's important for our stakeholders to understand that, so that you understand that we are operating within domestic frameworks, regional frameworks, but all these frameworks have their footing in the multilateral framework. The integration agenda goes beyond trade. And the reason I'm putting this out there is because we also have to be alive to all these other factors.
Manufacturers of steel products in China have been striving to improve their self-sufficiency and the level of technology to better support the development of downstream industries. With the rapid development of the new energy vehicle sector, high-performance silicon steel, the core material for drive motors for NEVs, has always been a hotspot for technological innovation in the industry. Details of these and more in news from around the globe.
A silicon steel company in Jinan City, North China's Hebei province, has been working to improve the standard and quality of its products over the years. Since the beginning of this year, China has been pushing forward adjustments in its steel industry structure and continuously launching new products covering such areas as automotive steel, electrical steel, vessels, and machinery. These products have played a supporting role in the high-quality development of the downstream manufacturing industry. Elsewhere, Australia's economy barely grew in the third quarter as exports flagged and households reeling from a surge in mortgage payments were reluctant to spend, suggesting rate hikes were working to restrain demand. Marking an 8th straight quarter of growth, albeit its slowest in a year, real gross domestic product GDP inched 0.2% higher in July to September from the previous quarter. Annual GDP growth stood at 2.1%, little change from the previous quarter. The income tax paid jumped 23% from a year ago after the expiry of a tax offset scheme, and mortgage payments surged 71% as more people came off fixed-rate mortgages onto higher variable rates. The central bank opted to stand pat to allow more time to assess the impact of a whopping 425 basis points jump in interest rates since May last year. Finally, Japanese investors are spending the most in 2 decades to buy up properties overseas, undeterred by the global real estate slump and the yen's decline to a 50-year low. A Manhattan skyscraper, data centers in Toronto, and office buildings in London are among the assets that Japanese companies and pension funds have scooped up this year. Flush with cash and in the only developed economy with access to rock-bottom financing rates, their purchases are giving some relief to the market as rising office vacancies and interest rates keep other buyers away. Japan sourced capital has accounted for $7.4 billion of global commercial real estate transactions so far in 2023, more than 3 times the annual average in the past 15 years.
And in other news, religious leaders in Isiolo County are challenging locals to diversify from pastoralism to defeat cattle rustling rampant in the area. The leaders called on locals to consider venturing into agribusiness as even the county governments create more job opportunities for them.
Religious leaders in Isiolo County have made an appeal to pastoralist communities to reduce over-reliance on livestock as a way of ending cattle rustling. Speaking during an inter-religious dialogue and peace forum convened by the National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK, the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, KCCB, and the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, SUPKEM, the chairperson of NCCK Isiolo chapter, Reverend Nathan Maingi, said there was need for locals to embrace agribusiness as an alternative source of income.
The resolutions made during the seminar stand as a statement to collaborative efforts aiming for a future where Isiolo County thrives in peace, security, and prosperity, sensitization of alternative sources of income. The participants unanimously stressed the importance of promoting alternative sources of income to reduce inter-community conflicts, particularly through addressing issues related to cattle rustling.
Sentiments echoed by Peter Carl from Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, who urged devolved governments in the pastoral counties to prioritize youth employment in order to end cattle rustling menace.
Kila jamii ipate kuhusishwa, especially wale vijana ambao wanatumia hiyo njia ya kuiba, wakipewa shughuli nyingine ambao wanaweza kufanya kando na hiyo mambo ya ushungaji, wapate njia nyingine tena kujiendeleza. Hii mambo ya wizi ya mifugo pia itaisha.
The forum brought together clerics and youth leaders from both Christian and Muslim faiths in Isiolo to deliberate on the social ills in the society, their root causes, and recommended possible solutions. For Lunchtime News, I'm Joseph Wahungu.
The International Celebration Ministries Church in Kakamega held an outreach clinic in Matungu to help in reducing muscle pain and other related ailments in the community. According to Kakamega County orthopedic technologist Faith Anyango Obor, community health rehabilitation is necessary in identifying early cases and giving early interventions. Charles Moroka, the church founder, said he will support members who are seeking medical services and overcoming challenges that negatively impact their daily activities.
Community-based rehabilitation involves bringing the treatment down the community. So once a health worker is in the community, the health worker is able to identify the cases, then separate the cases that need referrals.
Tumechukua hatua hii kufikia watu katika maboma na tutaendelea kuwafikia tukiandamana pamoja na gavana wetu.
Local and international tourists have been urged to make a trip to Mount Kenya during this festive season to sample its unmatched beauty. Deputy Director Partnership KWS Simon Gitao says the peak of Mount Kenya offers a rare opportunity for visitors to view the scenic low-lying plains.
Kenyans are being urged to choose Mount Kenya as their destination this festive season and sample what it offers. The Deputy Director Partnership KWS, Simon Gitao, says at Mount Kenya, the sun sets and rises at the same time every day, with both the day and night lasting 12 hours. He says there's only a 1-minute difference between the shortest and longest days in the year, which he attributes to it being situated so close to the equator.
Vijana wanapata mafunzo kama ni lazima waelewe maneno ya ekolojia ya huu mlima, ndio waeleze ni kwa nini umuhimu wa uhifadhi wa msitu na mlima Kenya. Wakati wako na wageni wanafunzwa maneno ya customer care, wanafunzwa maneno ya outdoor leadership, wanafunzwa maneno ya safety management kwa sababu search and rescue, wilderness first aid, expedition planning and management, ni mafunzo mengi.
Gitao says KWS has partnered with the Tharaka Nithi County Government and an Abbas Lodge Management in training tour guides to help visitors climbing the mountain. Beatrice Getonyang-Etich, Lunchtime News.
And now, in the sports arena, 63 drivers from 27 countries globally have confirmed their participation in this year's edition of the 2023 East African Safari Classic Rally, which gets underway this Saturday in Kilifi County. The rally will cover a total distance of 4,000 kilometers across 11 counties.
9-day event, which will be flagged off this Saturday and will be running up to the 18th of this month, has received 6 million boost from Safaricom, which will go towards preparation and hosting of the biannual event.
Safaricom is sponsoring to the tune of 6 million shillings this incredible race through the country.
A total of 63 drivers, including 44 internationals and 19 local drivers, have confirmed their participation in this year's race. The rally will cover a challenging 4,000 kilometers, transversing 11 counties, cutting across Kilifi, Nakuru, Nairobi and back.
We are going to be traversing about 11 counties around Kenya, starting from Mombasa, coming down right up to Nairobi, Naivasha, going down towards Nakuru, and then coming back up.
The East African Safari Classic Rally has been running every 2 years since 2003 and is open to two-wheel drivers. Naturally, a spirited rally naturally aspirated rally cars built before 1985. Some of the notable Kenyan drivers featuring in the 11th edition include the defending champion Baldev Singh, former champion Chris Rosbagnat, Kenyan Safari Rally legend Ian Duncan, who finished third last season, and Glenn Edmonds.
Ruthless England thumped Scotland in their final Women's Nation League group match, but it was not enough to top the table after the Netherlands scored 2 injury time goals against Belgium to deny them in a dramatic finish.
The Netherlands and England were split on goal difference at kick-off in Group A1 and at the end after both won. In a dramatic sequence of added time goals, the Netherlands went 3-0 up against Belgium to return to the summit. England moved 6-0 in front of Scotland to overtake them again on goals scored as the game ended at Hampden Park, only for the Dutch to strike once more in Tilburg. That means the Dutch are through to the Nations League semi-finals, and as a result, the England's exit team GB will not be in the Paris 2024 Olympics football competition. England needed to better the Netherlands' results by 3 clear goals to reach the Nations League finals and keep the team GB Olympics hope alive. England needed to better the Netherlands' results by 3 clear goals to reach the Nations League finals and keep Team GB's Olympic hopes alive.
Now, Arsenal extend their lead at the top of the English Premier League after a 7-goal thriller against Luton last night. Wolves also go back to winning ways after beating Burnley 1-0 at the Monolith Stadium.
Declan Rice's header deep in stoppage time sealed an enthralling 4-3 victory for Arsenal over Luton Town to send them 5 points